On behalf of Group 5, welcome to our case study discussion on using analytics to study gamification mechanics in MOOCs, or Massive Open Online Courses. While MOOCs benefit the educational community by providing free access to courses from top universities, they typically have issues related to student motivation and engagement, which often lead to dropout and low completion rates. Gamification mechanics may be a solution to address these issues. Gamification is defined as the use of game design elements in non-game context. In a 2016 study by Chang and Wei, they identified the top 5 gamification mechanics that had the most promise for gamification in MOOCs. They also concluded that the critical role of gamification in MOOCs is a factor that pushes learners to spend a higher average time, enhance self and content interaction. Basic information collection and learning management systems has provided a degree of insight into student actions. If these gameplay behaviors could be distilled and presented, it could provide a rich source of information regarding student misconceptions and lesson design. Our selected study focused on students' behaviors and perceptions towards earning badges in a gamified MOOC. Previous research on the use of badges in MOOCs yielded mostly inconclusive results. This study contributes to the advancement of this research area because it implements an empirical approach, focusing on a real MOOC environment with a heterogeneous group of students. The main question for the study was, what are students' behaviors and perceptions towards earning badges in a gamified MOOC? In order to address this question, 2 main topics were identified: learners' behaviors towards earning badges and learners' perceptions about badges and their relationship with behavioral engagement. The MOOC selected for this study focused on translation from English to Spanish in business and economics, and it was offered in Spanish. It was an 8-week instructor-led course divided into 7 weekly modules. The modules included videos, content pages, recommended readings, discussion forums, and collaborative activities. A total of 1,031 students from different age groups, nationalities, and educational backgrounds enrolled in the course. The gamification design was comprised by 2 elements, a leaderboard and a system of badges. The leaderboard was used to allow students to compare their progress with other students, and the badges were implemented using a platform called Badger, which could be integrated into Canvas. Such integration allowed the researchers to select the goals to be gamified through the Canvas Learning Management System user interface. 15 badges were available in the course, and students had to claim them once they had met all the requirements for a specific badge. Here you can see some examples of the different badges available in the course. Some of them were related to quizzes, and others were related to specific student behaviors, such as participating in collaborative glossaries, interacting with group colleagues, and conducting peer reviews. This study was a multiple methods design. Data was collected from Canvas logs, which included information about students, their interactions with course activities, active students per week, and number of students who completed requirements for a badge. This information helped estimate students' behavioral engagement based on page views, tasks submitted, forum posts, and activity time in the course. Another source of data came from the Badger logs, which included information about the students who received badges along with the date stamps. And finally, an end-of-course questionnaire was administered during the last week of class. Students completed a 12 Likert scale item questionnaire, as well as 2 additional open-ended questions about their perceptions of badges. Descriptive statistics, bivariate Pearson's correlation, Spearman's correlation, and qualitative analysis were implemented in order to analyze the data. Most gamification studies are based on small-scale educational context. However, the very nature of a MOOC involves a massive number of participants, usually several thousand. Instructors are not able to provide individualized feedback to MOOC participants, but they can use analytics to set goals, conversions, and recognize achievement. These analytics translate very easily into gamification elements such as leaderboards and badges. In terms of validity and reliability, we identified both strengths and limitations in our selected case study. The most prominent strength was the appropriateness of the data to answer the research question. In order to understand student behaviors and behavioral engagement, the researchers analyzed number of badges issued per student, claiming time span, number of page views, number of tasks completed, number of forum posts, and activity time. Students' perceptions were measured with a questionnaire that included both Likert type and open-ended questions. Another strength is that the claims made from the data are purely correlational. No causal claims were made by researchers since these were not supported by the chosen research design. Moreover, both the study and gamification designs were described in detail, which facilitates replication in other MOOC environments. One major limitation is that the students' demographics were not taken into consideration as potential moderators for the relationship between student behaviors and perceptions and behavioral engagement. Factors such as gender, age, and educational background may have had a confounding impact on results. Another threat to validity is history. Particular events during the 8 weeks of the course may have altered student participation and engagement with course activities and badges. Attrition and self-selection bias are also listed as limitations. Many students dropped out within the first few weeks of the course, and it's not clear whether the characteristics of those who dropped out were equivalent to the characteristics of those who stayed and completed the end course questionnaire. Finally, this is one of the first empirical studies that uses analytics to understand the impact of badges in real gamified MOOCs. More studies of this kind are needed to determine whether results would be consistent in other environments. The course was conducted through the Canvas Network MOOC platform. This platform discloses what data is being collected from the user by using cookies. Performance cookies do not collect information that identify an individual visitor. They're aggregated and anonymous. The course uses the Learning Tools and Interoperability Standard to securely connect learning applications and tools with platforms like Canvas. The open badges issued are integrated using the standard. Because previous studies focused on small-scale applications of gamification, this study has the potential to address how gamification influences learner behavior on a large scale. The very nature of a MOOC lends itself to a great deal of data mining. However, in this study, the Canvas platform was a limiting factor both for the analytics and for the gaming elements. Additional studies with different platforms and gaming elements have the potential to address concerns with MOOC learner motivation, engagement, and completion. Researchers organized the results over the 2 research topics: student behaviors and perceptions towards badges and MOOCs. First, the authors analyzed the number of badges issued and the ratio of students who earned badges to those who were active per week in the course and to those who fulfilled the conditions to earn the badges. All participants were classified into 3 categories. An active student was a student who participated in an activity in the current or in the upcoming week of the course. A performing student was an active student who fulfilled the conditions to earn a badge. And finally, an issued student was an active student who fulfilled the conditions and also claimed the badge. There was a sharp decrease in the number of active, performing, and issued students during the first 2 weeks, which then slightly decreased in the rest of the course. The ratio of students who were issued a badge to those who fulfilled the badge conditions was high and stable, more than 79% for every badge. Depending on the badge type and the associated conditions, students did behave differently. As shown in Figure 2, The time span for claiming badges grows from the beginning to the middle of the course in the 4th week and decreases from the 4th week to the end of the course. This initial growth could be attributed to a loss of interest in earning badges. The decrease towards the end of the course might also be explained by the end date of the course that created a shorter time span for claiming the badges. The second topic or research question addressed was students' perceptions towards badges. The authors first reported results on students' beliefs about the effects of badges on their motivation and engagement. Such beliefs were studied using 4 categories of statements in the final questionnaire. Category 1 was motivation caused by badges. Category 2 was reasons to earn badges. Category 3 was perceived effects of badges on student general engagement, and the 4th category was about perceived effects of badges on student participation in different types of activities. Table 2 describes the questionnaire items. According to Figure 3, students' perceptions towards badges were generally positive. The low degree of agreement in column 2.3 indicates that competition with other students was not a motivation for earning badges, although a leaderboard listing the earning badges was enabled. Researchers concluded that student behaviors towards earning badges was generally positive. Students' badge achievements were considerably high, although the dropout had a negative influence after the initial week. Students tend to claim the badges the same day as they fulfill the conditions, and badges and MOOCs hold a great potential to improve student participation in course activities in several ways, including more page visits, more discussion posts, and more completed tasks. As a supplement to this case study, we circle back to the study introduced in the introduction of this presentation. Chang and Wei administered an online survey to over 5,000 MOOC learners and determined the top 5 engaging gamification mechanics. Badges was one of them. They proposed some suggestions on using badges for MOOCs for instructors and for designers. For instructors, it's important to immediately reward learner achievement using trophies and badges. It is needed to develop a milestone badge to enhance learners' motivation by collecting the badges. For MOOC designers, they suggested adopting trophies and badges ladder. Additionally, they recommended to display the trophies and badges information inside the learner's personal page and information portion of the comment page. We hope you have enjoyed this case study presentation on gamification of MOOCs using analytics, and we look forward to engaging with your comments and your questions on our discussion board.